Alright, what's up YouTube? Throttle Fiend here. Currently sitting at 82 subscribers as of this morning. Again, I can't thank everybody enough for the love and support. I'm just blown away. Just doing what I do, and 82 of you so far seem to like it. So I really appreciate that. Heading into work today. It's a balmy 52. So anyways, with the holidays coming up, for those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving, it'll be this week. And yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because Thanksgiving happens to be one of the difficult times of year for me. As I stated in my last video, the only 2 days I really care about during the year is Veterans Day and the anniversary of the passing of my brother. Well, my brother, it'll be It'll be 9 years on November 27th. So you know, it's tough for me. My brother and I weren't always as close as we should have been. There was a significant age gap. I was like 14 years older than he was, and during high school I got to be the built-in brother sitter, so to speak. So you know, there was some tension there, you know, because I could have been out doing other things, but you know, you do what you got to do when it comes to fam. You know, as we got older, we grew a little closer together. He could kind of understand where I was coming from. I understood more who he was becoming as he, you know, grew into adulthood. We both shared a love of video games. The last game we played together was Twisted Metal Black. For those that don't know, it's a vehicular combat game. And the de facto mascot, if you will, is a clown with flaming hair who drives an ice cream truck called Sweet Tooth. And when Brandon passed, I wanted to get his portrait over my heart, but I couldn't find an artist that I felt comfortable enough with to do that work. I mean, having ink done is one thing. But you know, you have a portrait done, if one line is off or some shading isn't right, you know, that's not your loved one. You know, and that's not a knock on tattoo artists. You know, they're all honing their craft and, you know, working really hard at it. But you know, I mean, we have this sometimes unrealistic expectation in our minds of what the art should look like, and you know, especially as a memorial. You know, you've got that extra added pressure. So basically what I decided to do was to get a tattoo of Sweet Tooth on my upper left shoulder. I'm sorry, upper left arm. I'll go ahead and post a picture of it now in the video. It was a really difficult time for me. I had he passed away in November. I was laid off from a job that I had worked for over a decade. You know, it was like clockwork there. You know, two things you knew: the sun was going to rise and set, and I was going to be there. But they were bought out by a global entity, and they decided that my position was no longer needed. So I was unceremoniously laid off, and then that was in January, excuse me. And then I graduated with my master's and proceeded to be unemployed for quite some time. Sent out over 200. Sorry, I stopped counting at resume number 200. I sent out resumes all the way from New York to Germany and back. You know, I went everywhere. I didn't have pride or anything like that. You know, I applied to places that I had no business applying to, you know, being overqualified. But you know, you need work, and unfortunately they saw it the same way. They said that they weren't going to hire me because I was overqualified and I was going to leave as soon as I found something better, which they're not wrong. But that being said, for the time that they did have me, they would have, you know, a great employee who would give everything and then some, because, you know, being an adult with a mortgage and a family, you do what you have to do. So I ended up for a stretch there, I was really depressed, and I would search for work about 6 to 8 hours a day, and I would spend the rest of the day in my recliner sleeping, because when I slept, I didn't hurt. And that's why one of the big reasons why mental health awareness and prevention and all that is so important to me. Because everybody's hurting at some point in their life, some more than others, and that kind of brings me to the whole Thanksgiving thing. You know, I know that the holiday is coming up in a couple of days, and a lot of people are planning on getting together and doing like we normally do for the holiday. And I'm certainly not one to tell people not to visit with family. But the only thing I ask is that you be smart about it. Don't put yourself at unnecessary risk. You know, we've seen cases spiking all around the country right now, and we've already crossed the grim milestone of 250,000 people dead. You know, no matter what your affiliation is or whatever, that's real. So, you know, I just really want people to be safe, happy, and healthy, so that we can have further holidays. You know, a colleague of mine said, you know, a Thanksgiving by Zoom is better than a Christmas in the ICU. You know, so there's that. For those of you that don't know, I do work in the medical field. I'm not a provider, not a doctor, not a nurse, anything like that, but I do directly support providers. So, you know, I see it every day from a standpoint of what, you know, what's going on here. And you know, where I live, yes, it's bad just like everywhere else, but it's not as bad as some places. You know, my family, we typically get together every year, just like pretty much everybody else does, but this year Thanksgiving's definitely going to be via Zoom, and looks like Christmas is probably going to be that way as well. You know, we don't want to run risk of anybody getting sick. You know, there's an upside to this too. I mean, think of it like this. If you have family that are out of town, out of state, that it would be difficult to get together with, Zoom's a perfect thing. I mean, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you can connect and be a part of that that feast, that celebration. You know, whereas if it were, you know, regular times, you know, they may not be able to get there for various reasons. Another thing is if you've got that one family member that drives you crazy, oops, all of a sudden lost my connection, sorry. That's how I deal with stressful situations. I use humor. Because believe me, I'm stressing out too. I'll be the first to admit that I don't spend as much time with my family as I should. but I can always count on, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas for us to get together, see each other, things of that nature. But obviously that's being curtailed this year due to the pandemic, which, as much as it hurts, it's something I support. You know, we've got to stop the spread, and the only way we do that is by being smart, you know, working together, being smart. You know, it doesn't mean you have to give up everything. Just, you know, be careful. You know, make sure you're constantly washing your hands, using hand sanitizer, stuff like that. You know, the virus itself, once it lands on a surface, does not last long at all, like seconds. So, you know, most of it is people that are getting sick are doing so by, you know, spread through, you know, either breathing it in or getting fluid or something like that in a mucous membrane, like the eye or something like that. You know, I want this thing to end just as badly and just as fast as everybody else does. You know, I've been practicing social distancing my whole life, but you know, this is getting old. That being said, the only way we're going to do it is if we work hard to defeat it. Yeah, we've got the vaccines are being fast-tracked, but you know, nothing's perfect. I mean, even if they're 95 and 99% effective, as I've heard, that still leaves an error of 5% or 1%. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm one of the first people that lines up to get my flu vaccine every year, but you know, as somebody who's a type 2 diabetic, who if they got COVID, it very well could be a fatal situation. There's some trepidation on my part. I'm not exactly thrilled about lining up for that one. You know, I probably will, but you know, I'm still worried about it. You know, part of me wants to say, hey, how about we wait till version 1.5 or 2.0 before we step up to that plate. But you know, sometimes you just gotta be willing to take a risk and see what happens. I mean, the chances of me getting it through the vaccine is going to be very minimal. Definitely larger than zero, but my chances of getting it if I don't get the vaccine, probably a lot higher. So again, I want to give everybody thanks for all the love. My latest winner of the Odin Manufacturing Street MX gloves is Mr. McStash. His gloves got mailed out. Hope you enjoy them, brother. If you're not already subscribed here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be let know when I release new videos. As of right now, I'm releasing every Sunday, although I'm probably going to be working towards a more regular release schedule, but we'll have to see based on how the weather is here in wonderful upstate New York. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. As always, stay shiny side up, throttle fiend out.